Hello everyone and welcome. This is Brett from Boss Life Beauty and I'm so happy you're here. So today we're going to do a beautiful makeover using mauves and pretty pinks, perfect for blondes or cool brunettes, especially this time of year in the summer when you don't want to wear a lot of makeup. And guess what? The model's going to be my mother from Over 60 with Sandra. So let's get Sandra seated, let me get my makeup out, and let's get started. All right, now here we have Sandra, and she has no makeup on, and my mother has always had the most beautiful skin. So I don't want to cover her skin up with tons of foundation, but it's just as we age, we all know usually right here by our noses and a little bit under our eyes. My mom and I suffer from a little bit of dark circles. It's hereditary, so we're gonna start with that. And then I'm going to walk you through this process. And the overall look I'm going for with my mom is natural and soft, but still modern and fresh, because I love makeup, and it's so much fun to get all dressed up and wear makeup. And some women wear it better than others, but with my mother, she's always been a soft beauty, and we're going to go with that softness. Yay. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to moisturize my mom's skin. We're going to use Avon Natura. Take some on you. You have such gorgeous skin, mother. She has such beautiful skin.
Feels good. Oh, it smells like memories.
It smells good.
Wow. Yeah, I love that smell.
Well, you all know you have to moisturize it. I'm not telling you anything you didn't know. I'm going to use this Avon concealer in neutral, and this is just their basic concealer. I like this concealer for anyone over the age of 50 because it doesn't get into your lines. I don't like when under eye concealer is either too peachy or too white, and I think this is a nice natural color. And what I like to do is I like to put on the concealer and blend it in with my fingers because my fingers are warm, to avoid using too much foundation. So I just like to bring it down onto the cheekbone and almost even into the nose area, because I'm not a huge foundation lover. I'm not going to do a primer on my mother because it's just too much for her, but I love this Avon True Color foundation. This is my third bottle. This is Ideal Nude Liquid Foundation, has SPF 20, but what I love about it is
it light?
It's very light, lighter than a BB cream, and this is a nude, lighter than a BB cream and even lighter than any foundation. And I love it because it doesn't feel like you have a lot of stuff on your face. And it covers, my mother just has naturally rosy cheeks, and so that kind of just takes that down a little bit. And it doesn't get into her any fine lines and creases. My mom has really sensitive skin. The only thing when you use brushes is sometimes the brushes come off on the skin, but I don't like using sponges either, ladies, because they're dirty. You have to wash them every day. Unless you get the disposable ones, I'm all for those, but if you have to wash them, bacteria gets in there and they get in your makeup bag and they collect dirt. I'm not big on those at all either. I'm going to go over and just blot away any extra. The only other primer I am going to use on my mother is eyeshadow primer. Close your lids, because this Avon one is the best seller. It's my favorite. I love it. But the reason I use an eyeshadow primer is not only to keep the eyeshadow on, but also because we all have little translucent eyelids that get more translucent as we age, and it helps to cover up any veins that you may have on your eyelids, which you would want to cover up even if you didn't wear any makeup. Okay, open. All right, and next we're going to give her some beautiful eyebrows. But I want to share with you, for those of you who saw my video on eyebrows or went to my blog and read my blog post, if you go to the corner of your nose and go up, that's where your eyebrows should start. And if you go to the corner of your mouth and up, that's where your eyebrows should end. So anything here that's straggly and anything here needs to be taken off. Otherwise you look like you have upside down smiles. And if you do have eyebrows that go in further, then you can't do your arch so high, because then you look like the Joker. It's just too much. So I'm going to be using Wet n Wild eyebrow pencil in blonde, and I like it because it has kind of a slanted tip. Now Avon makes a really good one too, but I ran out of that one and I like this one too, so we're going to use this one. And I'm going to start right there and just do light strokes. Now your eyebrows are always darker where your arch is, and they're lighter here in the larger section because the sun hits that naturally. So you really don't need to do those very heavily here. So many people make this part the heaviest part, and really your arch should be.
Oh, that's interesting.
Now I'm not going to put any powder on my mother's brows because she has naturally really good brows, and if there's too much powder on them, they're going to look too fake. It's better to just go with a light blonde. My mother probably should dye her eyebrows a little bit because she usually does, don't you, Mom? Usually
Yes.
do. But see, and I'm not even going to put any powder because the powder would be too severe. Before I do anything else, I'm just going to make sure everything is blended in, because you're never going to look like you're 20 years old, no matter how beautiful your makeup
Darn.
is once you're over 50. It's just not happening, even though we would love it if it would happen. All right, what I'm going to do is now I'm going to take this Poudre Chanel. Here. I'm going to take this Chanel face powder in this pretty rose color, and I'm actually just going to put it, close your eyes, Mom. I'm going to put a bunch of it under my mother's eye. So when we do, after we do the eyeshadow, if anything drops, we'll be able to brush it away, and then I'm going to moisturize there a little bit so it won't look so cakey, because when you're over 50 or 60, you don't want to look dry. All right, these are the colors we're going to use.
Oh, they're pretty.
Yes, these are Romantic Mauves. As you can see, I use them a lot. I'm going to take this darker color, which is kind of, you can see, has a little bit of a metallic. And close your eyes, please. And I am just going to go along her lash line with this really pretty mauve color. And I'm going to press it into her lashes. My mother has more round but more of an almond shaped eye, so it's nice. Her shadow can come up here on the end a little bit. Okay, now I'm not going to use any liner on this, so this is going to be my liner. And then I'm going to take this beautiful shade in the middle, which is like a creamy beige. Now there's no metallic in this nude shade. This is just very, very light, because you don't, if your eyelids, when you have older eyelids, you don't want to draw too much attention to them. You don't, you know, our eyelids, mine get crepey, the less the better. All right, now you're gonna have to look up. All right, and I'm just going to, with this angled brush, this is my Mark by Avon angled brush, I'm just gonna put a little bit of this beautiful purple, I know it's aggravating, under her eye. Okay, close. Alright. I'm just going to put a little of this pink just right where her arch is. I'm not going to go all the way over back and forth, just a little where the arch is. And then I'm going to take a little and just put it on the ball of her eye. Now, Sandra, close your eye. Then we're going to brush that away. Open. I was able to brush away, and now open your eye. There is absolutely no purple underneath her eye, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to take that same pink. Close your eye, please. And I'm just going to put a little in the corner of her eye. after putting all that dry powder under my mom's eyes, I'm just going to put a little Natura on her cheeks so it looks a little glossy and she doesn't look too dried out. And another trick that I learned is, you know, as someone who travels for a living, I have to make do. If you've seen some of my videos, if I pack 3 things in my suitcase and I'm away for 4 days, I gotta make it work. The same goes for cream. I always carry Vaseline with me. I always carry like just a plain cream like this because you can use this for so many things. So if I took this brown mascara brush and wipe everything off of it, and I put a little of this Natura cream on the brush, then I actually could go in and brush up her eyebrows. They'll look really glossy and they won't be too much. And a big tip is less is always more, because you can always go in and add more makeup, but it's much harder to take it off and start over. If you see a spot after you do your makeup that needs a little touching up, better that you do it after rather than put so much on that you have to take it off, because that's just not fun. I'm gonna put on my mom this brand new, it's never been used, Mother, it's Hypo, it's hygienic.
Thank
This
you.
big
I'm so
false lash mascara from
It's
Avon.
huge.
Yes, and it comes, I love these thicker brushes. I think they're so much fun.
And what is that again? That's
This is big false lash volumizing mascara by Avon. Well, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look up and I'm just going to go in just like this, just to get a couple of those lashes. My big pet peeve, and it happens to me when I do my mascara, is when you do your lashes underneath and then you get clumps underneath and it's aging. It looks awful. You young girls that are naturally beautiful, look at their lashes. They don't have big clumps of mascara on their lashes. They just don't. I mean, you just want to pull the lashes individually down. So what I would do is just take the tip of my mascara and get as many as you can. If you can't get them all, it doesn't matter. It'll still look better than big, clumpy, disgusting lashes, because I hate that look. All right, look, and that's the problem with a lot of these fiber mascaras that are really big right now. I know this is so uncomfortable, but those fiber mascaras, because they sometimes they can look really clumpy. All right. Now my mother she has a lot of lashes, but they're very fine. And that happens as we age too, because my eyelashes have changed also. And I'm gonna hold her eye up, and I'd rather do a couple coats. That's where we're gonna get the building of the lashes, is just to let one coat dry. You don't have to do one coat, let it dry, put on another coat, and then, you know, rather than just do too many in a row, because it's too much aggravation, too much irritation around your eye. You don't need all that irritation. You just do it once, you let it dry. I'll start with this eye. The most important thing is to keep that mascara away from the base of your lashes, because if you have liner, you can get away with it. If you put on your mascara, and I would always put my liner on and then do my mascara and then go in with the liner and fill in, because another thing that looks terrible is when you put on your liner and then your mascara and you still have white spots in between where your liner meets the base of your lashes. So better when you don't wear eyeliner to really hold your eyelash and almost don't even go down to the base of the lash. Sorry. And almost not go down to the base of the lash, because you don't want to have to clean up that mascara. You know what happens? You touch your eyelid and it sits there and it's not attractive. And especially from someone like me, I wear glasses, so I can really see. When I put on my glasses and I look in the mirror, everything's magnified, even my eye makeup mistakes. So, all right, let me see. Now, I see here where the eyeshadow kind of dropped a little bit. So I take my little other end. I love this brush by Mark. You can get these at Avon, but this is the slant tip one, and this is an eyeliner brush. Just gonna put a little concealer into my eyeliner brush. Can you look up? And I'm just gonna go like this, and look, magic. Straightens out that line, doesn't add a lot of concealer under your eye. I'm gonna take this brush here and I'm gonna just clean that up. You can even go into the corner of your eye and clean it up. Feel free to take the slant tip brush, look up please, and you could just go over it for good measure if you see a bald spot that you created with your concealer. Now this seems like it's taking a long time, but actually when you do it every day, it's very simple. She has no liner on, just the beautiful metallic purple, the little mascara, and her brows are styled really nicely. For those of you who are brunettes, once your eye makeup is done, I would leave this to the last of your eye makeup, because if you make your brows too dark, you're automatically going to make your eye makeup too dark because you want it to be in balance. But if you just do your eyebrows light, then do your eyeshadow, and then come in and touch up your eyebrows and make them a little darker if they need it, you're better off, because then you're not wearing too much makeup. Because really, the goal of looking beautiful with makeup as we age is not wearing too much. And that doesn't mean you can't wear a big red lip, and that doesn't mean if you're a brunette you can't wear dark eyes. You have to pick the feature that you want to enhance. But basically, over the age of 50, you've got to pick one feature. You're either going to wear very little makeup and make your skin glowing and add a little bit of blush, or you're going to focus on your eyes, or you're going to focus on your lips. That's the most youthful thing you can do. For those of you who buy Boom, this is an Avon blush. This stays on a little longer than the Boom, but this one's called...
I love those sticks.
Blushing Nude, and I've used this in a layover. I've used this as eyeshadow, but this is a blushing stick, and I love these because my mom has beautiful cheekbones, but I'm actually going to take it in on the sides because she has some really nice cheekbones. She'll use this to contour a little bit. She has naturally rosy cheeks, so we don't need to add too much blush, but a little contour. And this is such a natural color because it's a little pink, it's a little mauve. She doesn't need much. And then what I would do is I talked to you all about this butter bronzer that I love so much from Physicians Formula. What I would do to keep her look overall warm and glowing. But what I would do would be I'd go over her forehead, down her nose, and over her cheeks. Just a tiny bit. This is so light, it's perfect for blondes. I'll put the link to the video where I talk about this bronzer. Just a little bit. And once you get it down, this takes 2 minutes. Now this look is overall really soft, and we're going to show you, we're going to take it outside. But now I'm going to do my mom's lips. Now you could do a lip liner here to keep the lips. I like lip liners because they keep the lip gloss inside your lips, but I'm actually going to go with this bright pink, and we're not going to use a lip liner because I want my mother's lips to look really natural and full. Now we could go with a really soft pink, which would also be pretty, but when I'm done with this, it's going to look natural. I'm going to put a little bit on her lips, and it looks really bright and glossy. Here's a trick that I love. I take the wand and I take all of the gloss off the wand. So it's basically just stained. Once you take all the gloss off, it's just a great tool to blend. Now you see as I'm blending this, and you can carry it with you for touch-ups, but because her other makeup is so soft, her eyes are a little darker than she normally wears, but this is just a fun pop of color. But when you don't leave it glossy and you just blend it in, it actually makes her lips look soft and pink, because a pastel lip gloss, although it would be pretty with this, in a way it might fade her out with her platinum blonde hair. So I really like a little color. I've always liked a little color on my mother's lips. All right, here she is, all done, ready to go. If you wanted to, this Nutura cream again, I didn't use any highlighter on my mom. She has naturally high cheekbones. But once her makeup's all done, you could go in with a little cream, and you could just right on her cheeks.
That cream. Wow.
And this cream, I swear to you, It's sold out. It's a classic. They don't have it all the time. But this Nutura cream is like, I swear, $4. And people buy it like and I know it's so whenever I can get it, when Avon runs a sale, I buy a bunch of them. It's really a great natural cream. So then I would just take a little cream. You know, my mother has drier skin than I do, and just put a little bit on her cheeks, and then maybe a little up here, but she already has the highlighter there. And there she is, gorgeous, easy.
Love it.
I know, you look
Really
beautiful.
looks-
I'm gonna take my mom outside. We're gonna take some pictures so we can show you what it looks like in the natural daylight. And then don't forget to go on over to Over 60 with Sandra, because we're gonna continue this tag with 73 questions
Whoa.
from Vogue magazine. And my mom's gonna have to, 73 is a lot.
Oh my gosh.
She's gonna have to answer them really quickly. If you've never seen those, you should. I'll put a link below. Go on over to YouTube and look up 73 questions. They're so much fun. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was so much fun having my mom here this week. And I will see you next Sunday with my back to school beauty special.
Thank you, Brett.
All right. See you next time. Bye.
So long.